What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sector for Nerds, and welcome back to another episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars Retro Discussions. Today we're going to be talking about Season 5, Episode 5, Tipping Points. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. Plenty of great content every single week. You guys definitely don't want to miss out on any of it. If you guys have been missing this Onderon arc, I highly recommend you go back and check it out. And if you've been missing this series, I mean, what are you doing? Such a great series of videos here on my channel, you guys. And we got not only that, but like multiple years worth of videos here on my channel for you guys to go and check out if you haven't seen any of them before. So without any further ado, intro guy, let's get the people caught up here. Let them know what went down last time and what's going to be going down in this episode. War in the Inner Rim. Rebel leader Steela Gerrera has joined forces with General Tandon after boldly rescuing Onderon's former king from execution, evading a trap by separatist ally King Rash and the droid General Kalani. Amid growing public support and rising unrest, Ahsoka continues to monitor the rebels' efforts as they rally around Ramses Dendub to restore his reign as the rightful king and finally put an end to the separatist occupation of Onderon. Thank you, intro guy. This episode starts out with Ahsoka planting a big hologram in the middle of the city, which is kind of like what they were doing last week, right, with Steela. Only this time, it's not a hologram of Steela, it is a hologram message of the former king, Dendub. And then he basically explains, right, like his relationship with the rebels, right? Like, I never met them before they came to rescue me, but I've come to know them as the true sons of Onderon. They're willing to fight for our freedom against those who want to conspire to take it from us. We all have to stand up for ourselves and protect each other to defend that freedom. But the key moment here is that the public, the peoples of Onderon, are finally turning against the droids, right? And there's rioting in the streets and everything. Saw Gerrera wants to take the fight to the droids, we find out a little bit later, but Steela's like, hold on, we all want victory, but not at the cost of innocent lives, right? So we got to keep the battle to the outskirts of the city. And everyone seems to agree with him, which it's interesting, right? Because especially what we know about Saw Gerrera's character later on, and mind you, this is before all of that. Before Disney took over and made Saw Gerrera this huge part of the rebellion era, all there was this. And they perfectly planted the seeds there of like, oh, this could be Saw's character later. Dendub ends up making Steela the commanding general of not only the rebels, but of the royal army, which is kind of crazy. And Ahsoka's just kind of standing there like, great choice, with like an awkward smile on her face. It's almost like she thought this wasn't a good idea. That was the look of like, I will say yes to the king because he's standing right in front of me. I will not say no to anything that he says. Poor Tandon. Kind of like a demotion, sort of? Yeah, thanks for joining our cause, man. This is what you get for joining us. You get demoted. Man, after Tandon played such a crucial part in last week's episode too, man. Come on. So they're all getting ready for battle, and Steela kind of looks over at Lux, and she smiles, and she walks over to him, and then she grabs him by the face and brings him in for a good old smooch on the lips. As Ahsoka, like, she was watching, but then, like, quickly turned away in jealousy. So then as Steela goes to fly away, Lux gets on his ride with Ahsoka, and Ahsoka kind of gives him like a little look, and then Lux gives her a look with the eyebrow raising and everything, and then Ahsoka just punches him. I don't know, it did seem though like Ahsoka was kind of like, all right, yeah, this is whatever, it is what it is. So then begins, I guess, the Battle of Onderon, where we've got the droid army going up against this rebel group and the Royal Onderon militia. Well, I guess before that, we get King Rash and Kalani chatting with each other. King Rash says we have to eliminate Dendub, General Tandon, and the terrorists before the people commit to their efforts. And Kalani's just like, General Tandon is weak. His army will not withstand the power of the Confederacy. Neither will the terrorists. Oh, geez, Kalani walked in here again. My goodness. Gunships pop up, and I'm like... Oh, we brought these bad boys in here. These gunships you guys will probably have seen in the Revenge of the Sith movie, most notably, I think, on the Battle of Kashyyyk. For those who also remember the original Battlefront 2, you could fly one of those things. And the big thing with these gunships is they have a crap ton of missiles. And you're going to see that displayed early on because, like, as the rebels, right, they begin their attack against the droids. General Tandon's kind of leading the ground assault. Steela's just kind of sitting up there sniping. Saw's bringing in the air team. I guess Lux and Ahsoka are just kind of standing by Steela. I guess. Not that really Ahsoka should be doing much anyway, just based on her orders from the Jedi, but still. But then in come the droid gunships. Like I said, the rebels were doing really good against the droids, right? They were taking out their first couple of waves, but then unfortunately in come all the missiles. Ahsoka, Steela, and Lux have to retreat. Frickin' Saw tries to take one out with a thermal detonator, but it's ray shielded, so then he ends up getting shot down. Tendon has to pick him up as him and his team make a retreat. Commando droids start breaking through their lines, and then we get a communication between Anakin and Obi-Wan talking with Ahsoka. And Ahsoka's like, these people need our help. Please talk to the Council about sending help. And Obi-Wan's like, the Council will not engage or involve the Republic in an internal affair. And Ahsoka's like, bro, the Separatists got a new gunship with a ray shield. Nothing's going to get past it. And Obi-Wan's just sat there like, no, too bad, Ahsoka. They're going to have to find a way. Like, don't stay there if their failure is certain. I was like, man, this is really kind of shitty of Obi-Wan right here. But he does say afterward when he's talking with Anakin, because Anakin's very much with Ahsoka on this, like, we need to help these people before they lose their planet. And he's like, bro, what difference does it make now? The Separatists know we're involved. And Obi-Wan goes, well, look, if we were to send in Republic gunships, it defeats the whole purpose of this thing, right? Like, we have to stay true to our intentions, learn our lessons. So Anakin proposes another idea. He's like, well, what if another party was involved?
What if another party was involved?
Another party? Who in the galaxy would be running around with an extra batch of missiles?
Hondo.
I smell profit.
Oh, you love to see it. I love the moment when Steela's like, is the Republic going to help us? And Ahsoka says no. And Lux goes, what's it going to take? And she just goes, King Rash rules Onderon. So unless that changes, the Republic can't do anything. Like, Ahsoka knows this whole situation is BS. So then the rebels end up regrouping at their base. We'll get back to them in a minute. We gotta talk about Anakin and Hondo here. Season 5 is my favorite season of this show, and my goodness, Hondo is one of the contributing factors of that, I promise you. So Anakin lands right at the base, and he's going to talk with Hondo, and Hondo's all excited, like, Skywalker, my old friend, you come alone? Anakin says, I need you to make a delivery for me. And Hondo's like, is that all I am to you, Jedi? A delivery boy? I know if I need arms shipped illegally, you're the man that I need to go to. Oh, illegally? Oh. Now, why would the Jedi need to deliver arms illegally? So it's just like, how about I pay you well enough if you just deliver the missiles and don't ask any questions? And then Hondo just laughs, and as he does it, he slaps the Hawaiian monkey lizard that's been sitting on him the whole time just right off of him. Oh my gosh, and I hate those little things anyway, so it made it even funnier for me.
Well, as long as you're not paying me in credits, I'm sure I could accommodate your wishes, Master Jedi.
So meanwhile, the rebels are kind of struggling, right? Because it's like, all right, the Highlands will be able to slow down the droids, but it's not going to be able to stop those gunships. And so they're all kind of sat there like, all right, what do we do? And Steela, the leader that she is, she's like, all right, we're not giving up yet. We got to secure our defenses, stay in small teams. Let's make use of the training that we were given. Saw says that she is the best leader among the group and that he couldn't be more proud of her, which is actually kind of crazy because I think this is the last thing that he says to her before what happens at the end of this episode happens. And it's not like he was foreshadowing anything himself, right? It's not like in Rebels, you know, when like Kanan started talking, you know, kind of weird to Ezra and Sabine, and it was like, I feel like he knows something or he's gonna do something. It wasn't like that. But obviously, like with a little bit of foreshadowing now, we can kind of see as the audience, like, oh, this was kind of like meant to sort of be a foreshadowing moment of like, hey, this is like their last interaction that they're ever going to have with one another. And Lux tells Ahsoka, you have to help us. And Ahsoka goes, I'll do all I can to protect you, but I can't fight this war for you. They keep going back to that Qui-Gon line from Phantom Menace. That's like the whole theme of this. It feels like the whole theme for the Jedi in this arc. We can protect you guys, but we can't fight your war for you. And Ahsoka even admits, like, look, I wish I could do more. But then in comes my boy. Hondo has some of, like, the greatest moments in this entire season, right? Like, last, you know, time he was there, we had a couple good ones. This one's right up there.
Well, you could be my new favorite spies.
Oh Oh, Hondo, you tried, my man. You tried. I don't think it was ever going to work, but I guess it was worth a shot. And Ahsoka's like, Hondo, what are you doing here? Hondo's like, you should thank me, child. I brought you a gift.
Rocket launchers.
Shoulder fire? Very expensive.
Paid for.
Very handsome. Oh my, look at the time. Well, my work is done.
Thanks, Hondo. Bye. So they start taking the rocket launchers down to the other rebels, and they start using them, and sure enough, these bad boys work on those things. But during all of this, while they're delivering the rocket launchers, one of the gunships ends up making its way toward the rebel base as they proceed to go after the king. There's a couple commando droids on top that try to take out some of the rebels. The king ends up kind of hiding with the help of some of the royal guards, and then luckily Steela and Ahsoka and Lux kind of get there in time to help out. And they're all getting ready, right? Like they're, fighting off the droids that are there that have breached the base. Steela goes to help the king. Dendab is kind of just sitting there at like the edge of a platform, and, he gets saved at the last possible second. So Steela goes up to him, makes sure he's okay. But in the meanwhile, Saw ends up taking out the last gunship, and it crashes in Steela's position. So she, kind of ducks the king down. Lux and Ahsoka kind of get taken down in the moment, but in the meanwhile, the platform starts to crack, and Steela, just off of instinct, pushes the king to safety. And as the platform is falling, she attempts to make this super jump, but she doesn't end up making it. She's kind of just hanging there off the side of the cliff. Lux tries to reach down to grab for her, but there's not enough room to grab her. And like a freaking idiot, the dude was going to fall off, and they both would have fallen and died had it not been for Ahsoka, who saves Lux, and she's like, I got this. But all in the meanwhile, you see the gunship that crashed. It's still kind of it's not flying, but it's the machine's just kind of sitting there twitching. And Ahsoka goes to pull Steela with the Force, and she's like, I got you. And all of a sudden, we see the gun start to move on the gunship, and I'm like, no, what, no, somebody turn around to shoot it, and then shoots Ahsoka. And I gotta tell y'all, this was the biggest jaw-dropping scare moment of this entire show for me so far. Because there was a brief second where I thought Ahsoka died here. Obviously, I think we all kind of knew in this point Steela was going to go. But I'm like, okay, this is one of the main characters of this show. And someone whose story, I think we've all, kind of been pretty invested in so far. Except for the people that weren't, apparently. That thought it was stupid for Anakin to have a Padawan. Whatever. And I didn't see the first time around that it hit her shoulder, because here's how the sequence goes, all right? She gets shot, the music cuts, and I actually thought the music cut was a nice added touch as well. That's actually something I've noticed a lot more of, when I watch through moments in different shows and stuff, or movies, whenever the music just cuts to initiate this shock moment. What's a good example? In Avengers Infinity War, right? When Iron Man is going up against Thanos, and Thanos takes the knife that was in Iron Man's suit, and he just injects it right into him, and the music just cuts, and it was oh my gosh, Iron Man, he just got stabbed. Oh my gosh, is he dying? What? No. And that was the reaction that I had here of no, Ahsoka, what? No. So we see Ahsoka get shot, she falls back, Steela falls, and obviously she's gonna fall to her death. Lux grabs Steela's sniper and takes out the gun that's on the gunship, and then when they cut back to Ahsoka, you see that it clearly shot her in the arm, it dazed her in the arm, and I was like, oh, thank goodness. And then it's oh yeah, but Steela, she's gone. Why did everybody look at Lux like he was the one who caused this? Ahsoka looked at him funny, Dendab looked at him funny, what was that all about? King Rash is all upset with Dooku because he's like, bro, your gunships failed me. I need more reinforcements. Dooku at this point is just done with this, right? He's like, all right, General Kalani, what's your status on this situation? And he's like, defeating the rebels is going to take us time, sir. And he's like, bro, all right, a prolonged war isn't going to interest me here, General. This rebellion continues to grow with every victory. And he's like, salvage the remaining army, withdraw them to Agamar. And then Kalani just shoots Rash. Oh, well, that takes care of that then. As Ahsoka and Lux make their way to Steela on the ground, you see Saw kind of cradling her in his arms. Saw kind of takes responsibility, right? He's like, it was my fault. I'm the one who shot that gunship down, and it crashed right into her position. And Lux is like, no, Saw, it wasn't on you. Steela knew what the risks were. We all knew what it was going to potentially take to free Onderon. And you just see like Ahsoka standing there crying in the background. Everyone else is really sad too. And it just, man, and it really sucks because like Steela was such a great character. And the end of this episode, like we obviously see Denda back in sort of his position as king now, I guess, right? And they're kind of having like this big ceremony for him while also having like this, you know, funeral / tribute for Steela. And Obi-Wan goes, this has been quite the journey for our Padawan. Very curiously, he said our, which I guess in a weird way, he has kind of helped raise Ahsoka a little bit. And it is his apprentice's apprentice, right? So they've been on enough missions together at this point. Ahsoka tells Saw, like, I'm sorry for your loss, but Saw's just like, thanks, but it's over now. Let's just leave it at that. And Ahsoka's just like, oh well. And we find out at the end, like, Ahsoka and Lux have like a small conversation at the end, and Ahsoka's like, you know, many lives get caught between the Republic and the Separatists, and Lux is like, Dendib has appointed me the new senator of Onderon. And then Ahsoka just kind of smiles like, of course he did. And he just goes, I will follow in my mother's footsteps, and I will bring us back to the Republic. Dendib ends the episode by saying, remember this day, the day that Onderon became free again. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be free for that much longer. I really enjoyed this arc. I love the idea of having this arc showing like the early formations of the rebellion. And I think that as time has gone on, they've only continued to add to this story. Because we find out later, right, like the Empire will eventually take over Onderon. There's a lot of different parts, like especially in Rebels, they talk about Onderon several times and just kind of implying some things that went down there. You also have Onderon being brought up later at the end of Clone Wars, like as part of the Outer Rim sieges, which is something they could have dedicated a whole season to the Outer Rim sieges, man, with how much went down there. Like there's so many battles that you could have went through there and all that stuff, but good old Disney had to ruin everything. What a fantastic arc, you guys. And I believe that's going to wrap us up for today, you guys. And next week, we are going to have a discussion about the next arc in this season, about a group of Jedi younglings. We will begin with Season 5, Episode 6, The Gathering. Thank you all so much for watching. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with others to help support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.
What is the gathering, Padawan Tano?
Petro. Gnodi. Biff. Katuni. Zat. And Gunji. The time has come for you to build your own lightsabers.